But yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
You are watching Weirdo Universe, where wonders take flight. To the show with you. I'm on,
I'm AJ.
and this is Weirdo Universe. Welcome for tuning in on our last night episode, where we are changing the time, still the same day, but changing the time much a bit earlier this this time. Sorry, but we're going to continue on with our Dark Pictures gaming. I guess you could say trilogy because they're still continuing on, and we're doing the
I
very
mean, I guess it's more than. I guess it's a bit more than a trilogy.
well, franchise.
I forget how many games they had. Yeah, I forget how many games they had.
Let's say franchise, and we're doing the very first game that came out back in like 20. I want to say 16 or 18.
I believe it was 2016.
16, and that is the Until Dawn series, Until Dawn game, and that was the very first mystery horror survival game, and it's about
Oh, okay. Apologies. We were a year off. It was 2015.
2015. Okay,
Sorry, I quickly looked it up.
yeah, I was like, it was like I know it was like 14. I was 18. Was like, nah, that's like no, it was a while back. It was
Yeah,
a
that
bit.
was a bit too far, but yeah,
It was
no,
like
2015. Wow.
15. Wow, dang.
Wow, that was during my freshman year of high school. Wow.
But yeah, the game is called Until
What are
Dawn,
the odds of that?
and if you saw our
Oh
okay,
Lord.
it's like the Surface platform we're using a StreamYard and had a little crash moment there.
Yeah, that froze for a moment. Okay, so that wasn't just me.
Oh yeah, I got it too. I got it too. So, but anyway, the game.
Okay. I was just like, "Oh Lord, am
No,
I
no,
gonna get kicked off the the stream again?"
no. That affects both of us, but we're looks like we're good.
Okay,
Uh,
cool. I'm
yeah,
glad that wasn't just me this time.
we're all good. But if you've seen our last episode of Urban Legends, I did about Wendigos, he did about Bloody Mary. But we're gonna go back to the Wendigos, and that's what this game is. The horrors is
Yeah,
based on.
that does take a big twist in the game. Yeah, like I mean, that was I think what the majority of the story, actually, too.
Well, I feel like it's more like the background because every horror movie, the mystery is about the creature or the inhuman being, and there's like more. It's
Yeah,
like you realize there's more to it. But anyway, urban legend. Until Dawn was Until Dawn is about these like college students that they known each other for a long time, and one person, and every night, uh, 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 one of the people invites their friends to like their parents' cabin deep in the woods. It's like for like if you have like a lake house that you invite your friends with. It's like just something fun to do once in a while. So the game kicks off of that like one night. You know, people are hanging out, but sometimes you have those friends that like try to prank people or try to catch people in the act just to be funny. So in the game, what we've learned is there's this one character and he has two sisters, a younger and an older. And so the older brother, he's passed out drunk because it was a party. They're all just having fun. But there was we discovered that one of the older sister, she had like a crush on one of the male characters, and if I think his name was Matt, I want to say if that was his name.
I think it was Matt.
But if you play the game, you might know the face. He was in Agent of Shield. That's what I've known him from. But he's been in probably
Oh God, that was a show.
That was a show. That'll be a later topic.
That was a show. Oh,
that'll be a later topic. But so she had like a crush on him, and she but it was all planned out. Like she gets a little letter, to meet, and she gets all ready. She goes and meets Matt, but it was all like a hoax, not a hoax, but it was all planned out. So they were trying to catch her in the act. So, they got they're about to, since they knows about her, I guess, invulnerability to Matt.
I don't remember if they were going to kiss or do the other thing.
But
but I'm not going to actually say it, okay?
But anyway, they caught her in the act, and she gets embarrassed. She runs away because if you're a person that gets attacked, if you're a person that gets attacked unexpectedly, the people prank you in a very uncomfortable, harsh way.
Yeah, that was a pretty mean prank.
So she runs away. The younger sister comes, and she's realizing what happened, and she's like, "Come on, guys!" So she's trying to chase her, but she ran. When people just when that happens, something very close, you just run. You don't stop. But she ran all the way outside.
Oh, she bolted. And she bolted. That wasn't even a run, man.
Yeah, but she bolted.
She was outside before anyone realized where. I'm trying to think of the names, though.
But it's cold and snowy out there. So it's very cold. So she's bolting. She doesn't even know. She's trying to get in a place quiet. The woods is a quiet place. So clears your mind. So she runs. She's chasing her, and so they realize, okay, they went too far. So they all grouped up. Wait, I'm trying to think. No, they grouped up, or perhaps I think it was something within those lines. But so she chases. So anyway, so then the first character you are, the first character you were the older sister or the younger sister. What was the first character you controlled?
I think it might have been the younger sister.
Yeah, it was the younger sister. You start to control her a bit, and in this game, like how Dark Pictures do it, certain murals, totems, something that you pick up, you look, and it gives you a future, good, bad, evil. It's a good, it's a bad. Is it a saving moment? You don't know. But so you find one of those, and it gives you a glimpse of pretty much a situation, which is one situation in the game is a cliff. You're surrounded by a pack of a fern of deers or pack of deers.
I don't even know what that term would be called. Would it be a herd?
A herd. I think it is a herd. No, I think herd. But it was about a cliff. So in the game, you're following the footsteps, and it's like a blizzard out there. And sometimes certain games and choices go the wrong way. You hear crying, so it's her, but then you see another path, so you make a decision there, and it's different outcomes, but it's the same result because this is the intro of the game. So, you find your older sister, she's crying in pain of just that unselfish move, that unselfish prank the friends did. And as it happens, this is where it gets a little spooky. They hear something in the woods, and as you know, in the woods, if you like sit in the dark too long, your brain plays tricks a little bit. But in this case, it's not tricks. So that you try to work your way back, and it ends up. I can't remember if you got. I don't know if it was a chase, but it ends up you head to a cliff, but someone pops. So someone pops up like a man with a gas mask, has a flamethrower, trench coat, and with gloves. And as they're like trying to back out, knowing about the cliff, they fall, but they grabbed on, and then there's this decision where the guy figured like they're gonna kill him. He doesn't. He reached out for his hand, and you made the decision: either you drop your sister, or you try to see if you can save both. But in the game, either way, whatever you do it, they both fall to their doom, as we think.
It is never that simple with these kind of games.
And they fall to their doom. You think they're all gone, and then we fast forward, and I'll end off to AJ here, but
right,
we
yeah, because they have a time skip.
It's a little time skip, and they do it again, and this is where it begins. So I'll take it away. AJ, take it.
Yeah,
away.
so they do have I think a few months or a year time skip. I don't know exactly how long the time skip is exactly, but they go back to the cabin. Now this also depends on what decision you take before. Because if you choose to let go of your sister, I believe the character you play as survives. So I believe she will return or something. And then things really start to kind of kick off a bit here. Is that they start having a killer that is not only just stalking them, but picking them off one by one. Now, this does kind of get a little Scream kind of related a little bit. Because later on, it does turn out that the killer is one of the friends. Again, my memory of the names of
So yeah, the character of the names we it's been a while, so we don't really entirely know, but we just know they're like college friends.
Yeah, I meant to try and play the game before weeks. So I might try and do that, see what happens, and but like from what I remember, go on.
I was about to say real quick. Each of the characters have like certain traits on how they act.
Yeah.
So in that game, use it as
it's still pretty. It's still pretty similar to how our last stream was referring to, because it has this like sort of the same like gaming components as Man of Medan. So there are some similarities to the games a little bit, but yeah, no, I mean you could see the personality traits of each character. You kind of also, depending on what choices you make, these traits you start off with also change throughout the game. So depending on what choices you make it shows the different like traits that I guess you could kind of say evolve from, maybe. But the traits do change if you check them throughout the game. It's actually really interesting to see, because in like Man of Medan, when I was playing it, there's like one of the characters was like this really like truthful, honest, and like kind of shyest person a little bit. But as you were making some of these choices, or some of the choices that I made at least, his traits change from that to deceitful and um arrogant, I think, at some point. But I mean, it was really interesting to see that like the traits itself were changing as you make these choices. So that's at least something that I found fascinating about the gaming mechanics. Just again, I mean, it's really interesting to watch. However, going back to the topic at hand, um, after the time skip, we do get them come back to the cabin, and we do, like I mentioned, have a killer on the loose who does turn out later in the game to be one of the one of the friends in this group. Um, Later on, we do come down to the more supernatural aspect of it, and this is when the Wendigos come in. I've also realized that for most of my life, I've been pronouncing that completely wrong.
Hmm.
It's actually pronounced as Wendigo.
Yeah, it's
It's
WEN.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's very odd, because you look at the word and you're just like, oh, just automatically you kind of pronounce it the way you see it, which is Wendigo. So I mean, it's like it
that's
was
great.
really interesting when I found out, because it was, I think it was when I was watching the show Supernatural, actually. I was like, wait a minute, what? So I rewound it and listened to the way that they pronounced it again, and I was just like, I've been saying this wrong
I mean,
for
I've been saying Wendigo because it sounds like, because in games, especially Until Dawn, it's a blizzard wind, and you feel like there's something there. So you figure like as if like
yeah,
spirit, like a spirit Wendigo, like it's a spirit of the wind, but it's a
yeah, but
supernatural creature.
yeah, but that is not the case. And
That's
Amon
Wendigo.
does explain this with our last stream regarding the urban legends when we did talk about Wendigos. And if you haven't watched that quite yet, I'd recommend watch it, and so you get a little bit of information on it. But it's very interesting to have a game incorporate such a legend in a survival horror game, because I mean, they are like, once you turn into a Wendigo, you basically become like a apex predator. So I mean, you are just hunting for food at this point, basically. And I mean, to have a game that includes this creature is so cool. I mean, it's not even like your normal like kind of antagonist or whatever, but I mean, it's
Not
so
like no
cool.
Jason, Michael Myers, the Scream serial killers. It's nothing like that
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah. I thought that was
It's
also
really
kind of funny, because I did kind of picture Until Dawn a little bit like Scream. Well, like they kind of reference Scream a little bit just by having the friend group have a serial killer basically in the group who just knows everybody. And I was just like, okay, that's very Scream like of them to do this. But um to have it switch from like that kind of genre in a sense to a more supernatural aspect like halfway through the game, that is the coolest thing you could probably do in a survival horror game, in my opinion. Because I mean, you go from like just an ordinary killer, right? A human being who's just killing people, and then you go to a literal supernatural creature, and that is like such an odd but cool switch up if you think about it. So I mean, I don't know. I do kind of like the way they did that. That's just me though. But um, I'm gonna pass it back to Amon on his thoughts,
Yeah, so
or if
like,
I missed anything.
well, like in the game, if you're not playing to play, if you're willing, if you wanted some spoilers, we can give it to you. But what's what's a little background to it actually in the game? They give you a background of kind of like how Wendigo's developed, and so like in the game, you get some articles of a mine deep in the mountains that was an operational. I don't know, it was a coal mine, and I'm not have entirely all the information, but pretty much something happened. Like I guess like supplies were short and people started going a little cuckoo. And nearby, they go in the game. There's a mental hospital, or pretty much an asylum, of where they took the miners to the place and they study them. But they like in the game became one of the characters. You get through and you see all these drawings, and then there's like an old projector of studying a person that's pretty much so famined that he turned into a Wendigo, and he's like smartly like clipped off his handles and just started crawling like a spider, pretty much on a wall. And
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
apparently, since so like pretty much the Wendigo outbreak, like a whole like all the most of the miners or all of them that changed took over. And of course, the person that ran the Operation Asylum, you find his dead body. He probably just shot himself because he knew he'd be dead anyway. So, but you get attacked by these Wendigos, but these Wendigos are like old. Like, I mean, of course, the spirit is fresh, but like they've been a Wendigo for so long that like you can see the morph of a human changing, like their skull, they're like their hands almost like it's like they grew an inch. Your nails are like sharp as like a sharp claw, like a werewolf almost. And
Yeah,
like it's just as you see this on abominable thing. And as it goes, just in that game you escape and you have a shotgun and it only just sets them back because they're like it's not like they're bulletproof, but it's almost like the structure of it. They don't like it's almost they don't feel the bullets when they go enter. It's just like they just sit back or like they like they faint
yeah.
or
It,
something.
like again, like in our last stream about this creature, we do kind of talk about how it like normal weapons usually don't really affect it, or at best it kind of stuns them a bit and kind of slows them down. But I mean, there's a reason why they had this also stranger in the woods with the gas mask and like I think you mentioned earlier a flamethrower, right?
Yeah. I sorry,
Yeah.
real quick.
So
I got some research real quick on the characters of like the main characters. So yeah, so the characters are Mike, Matt, Sam, Josh, Hannah, Beth, Emily, Ashley, and Jessica, and they got Joshua.
hmm,
So there are 10 characters. So it was a pretty big game, and of course Joshua, if you might know the face, he's been in so many movies and shows. So a lot of popular faces that you'll know for sure. But I mean, as like I'm not, we're kind of giving the sum up. You should play or watch a video or even watch more breakdown. There's a lot like this game's been out for a while, so you definitely get some good breakdown of like they give you the
oh
plot,
yeah,
give you
I'm pretty
the full
sure
plot
there's some people who
of
like dive
Wild.
really deep into it and actually go into like a deeper, like a really deep breakdown with the game, I think.
But if
I don't
but
know. I haven't watched any of them.
well, if you're planning on playing it, or if not, uh, if you want to know who the Wendigo identity, who this Wendigo identity was, it was quite like if you first play the game, you'll be like if you never knew about it, you'll be shocked of like who it was, and you think like how is that possible?
Yeah,
And
I
there's a
think I
certain,
remember what you're talking about.
but like what? Okay, let's so I mean that's well. And then, like as we say, like in the Dark Pictures, whatever choices you make, you try to keep each survivor alive. Some are meant to die, but it's funny about this game. In a way, that there's a way you can actually keep everyone alive. It's not just it's
Yeah.
supposed to be death. It's actually you. What makes it a little challenging, you're actually supposed to keep 10, well, except for one, but keep 9 characters
Yeah.
alive. Um,
Well, that's also the same thing with like the Man Medan game, is that there's certain choices you have to make that require you to kind of like have everybody survive. Um, which I mean that doesn't necessarily surprise me with Until Dawn. I mean, they are from the same um company at least, or branding. I don't know what the exact term would be correct. I'm also
but yeah,
looking at the cast for the um Until Dawn film.
I gotta
I
see it.
just noticed somebody that I do recognize.
Yeah,
Um
the
Maya
series.
Mitchell.
Yeah, the series though. So yeah, they made a series, but it's not how you think of it. They did it more of a.
Well, it's a movie.
They made it into a movie, but it's not how they did on the game. They do in Pick the Wendigo, but it's actually like kind of like survive like 10 days of horror or something like that. It's like each night you have until you have until dawn. That's the title. You have to wait until dawn, and there's like at least I don't know how long the movie is, but it's like 5 or 10. I didn't
It
see
is
it.
an hour and 43 minutes.
Okay, so it's a good, practically a 2 hour movie. But you got I don't know this.
I kind
It's
of
like
want to watch it at some
they
point.
made it into trials. So certain trials, someone turns into something or like something happens, and it's like you have to like survive the hour or something. I'm assuming that's how they're interpreting it. But I saw pretty much it's like oh, there's I saw like maybe 8 clip, and it seems like it's more like, or I saw the trailer, and the way they're showing it was like it's almost like you have until dawn, but it's like each hour something happens, and it's like you survive, you try to survive. But then they do a Wendigo in
Interesting.
fiction. No, there's no like it's not in the game. In the game, you go outside. They didn't do that. They kept it in one thing in a cabin in the middle of the
Oh,
woods.
so they just stayed in the cabin for the
They
film.
stay in the
Okay.
cabin. But no, but I don't know. Let us know when you see
Gosh, I remember
if they're doing if they're
I
doing the.
remember in the game they went to the ski lift. I remember them going to this like abandoned like
Well, actually, let
mansion
me
or
know.
something.
But according to like looking at the trailer, it seemed like they just did in the cabin, and it seems like it's more of a
Yeah,
trial
from the
than survival.
pictures
It fortunately
from the
didn't do.
pictures alone. Oh, I was
Uh,
just gonna say, from the pictures alone, it looks like they really did kind of keep it at least around the cabin area, then really like exploring it like the other places they did in the game.
yeah, they tried to do a
Because I mean,
series
they went to like
movie
a
on.
whole bunch of places in the game.
Yeah, they tried to do a movie on. I was like, oh, that's interesting. All right, let's.
Yeah,
So
I remember a lot of people were very skeptical. Ugh, I can't speak English today. Skeptical on the movie when they had announced that they were making one.
as we slowly
Like,
conclude, we're gonna keep. Sorry, we might keep this a little shorter than our usual ones, but to make conclude, well, to at least one part to conclude, slowly conclude this. What are some of your reactions? What are some of your dumb choices in the game that you knew you shouldn't make in the game?
ooh,
that you can remember?
I definitely know there's a lot of dumb choices that I made in the game.
Well, how about this? Let's start this. Do you remember? Wait,
I think
out of
one
the
of the sorry, I'm trying to word things. Go on.
I was just trying to help you sum it up in a way. Like, let's just start like out of the 9 characters, how many you survived?
Out of the 9 characters, I think maybe 2 or 4.
2.
I think like I said, I was making some really poor decisions in Until Dawn.
For me, I think I did. Oh, actually, I did 5. I got 5.
I might have done 3. I don't know. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm saying. Either like 2 or 4 at best. But yeah, no. I mean, I was making some really poor choices.
Wait, actually, let's backtrack. Should we spoil who the Wendigo is or no?
Well, there's a few of them, if you remember. Because
the main one.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do it.
So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so we'll backtrack a little bit. So, in case if you're not planning to watch it, or planning to play the game or see gameplay, so
also before we actually do spoil it, obviously, in case if you do want to play it and pause like skip the video here, mute it or whatever, come back to it later, play the game in that case. That's just what I'm gonna say, because I know people sometimes do that. They'll say like, well, get out of the live, or like pause the video, come back to us when you do this, do that, or whatever. That's what I'm basically trying to say. But I'll let Amon continue.
But yeah, the Wendigo that haunts these characters or tries to kill them is Hannah. And you're probably wondering, Hannah? You mean one of the sisters that fell off a cliff that literally fall into epic doom? You're like, how? Because when they show their death, be like, oh, they're dead. And it's like, yeah, you might think that. So that what it shows that in that, so what they fell into was a cave, but it was actually, it's part of the mine. The miners went so deep into the mountain, it embodied a curse, but there was like a curse was in that mountain. You'll get some information about the mountain, but
you'll definitely, the game does kind of explain it a little bit. At least from what I remember, I think they do.
But as it's Hannah, and in the game, you're 2 characters, and they realize that they see there's a one of the characters that's like pretty much trying to get out of this cave, out of the mine. The Wendigo's chasing, and I guess this Wendigo, like in the mentality of a human, hates her so much, and apparently she discovered it was her because there's a grave. So apparently there's one grave, and on top of the grave is the head of the little sister. And you're like, what do you mean? So if you've seen go to Urban Legends, our Urban Legends clip, how Wendigos are formed, what I've discovered is like it's a curse, or like it's a punishment on if you're if you become if you're a cannibalist. Because in the game,
or at least if you resort to cannibalism.
So in the game, you find a journal, and it's actually It's actually Hannah writing down, like she's like trying to survive, but she doesn't know where she's at. I mean, I'm just thinking like, wait, clearly she was concussed, but it's like either when like the we'll go in questionnaires at the end of our at the end, but she so in her journal, like she wrote things down, you know, being scared and lost and seeing her sister die and all that. But she also says, like, in a way, she has no choice because she's starving, and the only thing that's at least eatable. And then, you know, you're in a cave. There's no pond of fish. There's no any like little insects or
This
and no
also
animals.
this also depends on, like, I think the ending of the beginning of the game too.
Yeah, and
I believe.
so then well, I say this is where it gets a little crazy. I think in the
Oh yeah.
journal, she actually writes down like, you know, she writes about like I have no choice, I have to eat her. So she you know she apologized to her and
She literally does confirm in the journal that she eats her sister.
yeah, she eats her sister, but I think it goes to a depth so far where when she was eating and kept eating, she noticed this change. Like she's talking like it's like she's talking like wait like it's almost like why does this taste so good or something in those lines like I'm like she knows her hands are like kind of like forming in a way, like the bones, the structure. It's like she eats the whole body, and it's like in a way she's feeling this change, like kind of almost like a werewolf. If you're a werewolf in the night on a full
I was
moon,
also gonna say that they do kind of going back to the whole reveal bit. They do reveal that this is Hannah due to the fact that she has a butterfly tattoo, I think, on her shoulder,
yeah, on her shoulder,
was it?
yeah.
Or like right near her collarbone or something, but it was like on her torso. Um that's how they also kind of started realizing, oh shit, this is Hannah.
And it's just like
That
anyway.
I
It's
think was actually a really nice detail,
like when I
to
first
be
saw the
honest, at least in my opinion.
when I saw the gameplay of it, it's like, oh shoot, it's Hannah. Like, how did she survive? Is she because they did show her? Well, they show the younger sister literally a tip of like in the cave, like kind of like those not stone, but like those kind of like those pointy tips in the cave. She landed it
Yeah,
full on right on the spine. It
yeah.
just snapped. But just of course the face just totally
She was gone.
like even her spine broke. But what really caused the fall? And then she slammed her head and just broke her skull. So she died. But it's for here's what okay. So that's the mystery. But actually, we're gonna close it out with some questions or like mysteries. We maybe we'll go in a little depth and maybe have a little questionnaire to think. Because what gets me questioned, knowing, sorry, knowing that because we only show the younger sister fall, but we don't. When we see the older sister in her position, we don't know like where she fell on impact. Well, of course she fell hard, but what is somehow she actually must have woke up feeling so concussed. Like she might have when she fell, since she was depending on your choices. Depending on your choices when she falls, we actually don't know like where. I mean, clearly she landed in the cave, but we don't know did she did her body like topple somewhere else and then settling upon the cave, right? Because I feel like that's a bit of a mystery to now know like how the heck she survived. I mean, you fall from a height that far, clearly you're dead, but somehow she like somehow woke up like passed out. He was just knocked unconscious for who knows how long, months. Maybe she woke up like 3 hours later or something in the cold, right? Isn't that a bit of a mystery, you think?
I think that also goes into my question that I was gonna bring up, was that the abandoned mansion or whatever the building.
Nope. So I lost me. But I just feel like. Oh, sorry, folks. We'll be right back.
I'm back.
But yeah, go
Sorry,
on.
I don't know what happened. Where did I lose you?
Well, you had a question with my question, or you want to add on to the question?
I was gonna add on to it. That's okay. Okay, I got my idea. So my question was the abandoned building, or I think it was like a mansion or something. I don't remember. It's been a while. But you know where you have to have that one character or those two characters go into, and one of them has that shotgun,
Yeah.
and I like killing wolves that were trying to attack them.
Yeah.
I think. I was my question for that was it was going to be a follow up because you just mentioned something about, well, would it be possible that maybe like Hannah like got into the deeper into the woods or something, or like, I mean, obviously she kind of like stumbled somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was somewhere that she had went, was that abandoned mansion or whatever it was.
Of Asylum?
Yeah.
Well, because in the game, when let's just say if you decide to drop her just for just because it's like the counterweight, so you can like get yourself up. Let's just say you do the pretty poor choice and just drop your sister to her doom. In the background, you can clearly see because you might be onto something, but I think the sign was more in the more higher up in the mountain than below. I think, but
Maybe. I
uh,
again, I remember it's been definitely time. So, but I mean, no, it's just the idea of them having that building just there in
that's
the
me.
game, like as a place you could go into and whatnot. I thought that was really odd because it was like, why would they have it there then?
I just feel like it was just more
At
like
least,
I just feel like I feel like it was a place for the gamers to be like, all right, we're gonna give you a little depth of what the heck happened here, and be like where you were at, and you get the story of like the Wendigos.
okay, yeah, I guess that would make sense a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's just like I just feel like it's a bit of a mystery that to know we don't know how she impaled herself or who knows. It seemed like whatever happened when she fell, either she landed like kind of like dropped and then her body kept stumbling over because you're just on the impact. Maybe because for all we know, she could have fell in the trees and maybe like I don't know, like the branch, could have like launched her a little bit, and she kept stumbling and then eventually
Well, that
falling.
I mean, depending on how strong the branches are, they could kind of, um,
Because in the
in a way,
game,
cushion your fall a little bit.
yeah, like in the game, if you do the let go version, when the younger sister falls and impales herself and dies, you do see the older sister in the same area. So it's like you don't know where she falls. But if you do the choice of just like not trusting this guy and just no choice just to let go and hope, because if you do let go, she's thinking like, okay, if she falls, sometimes you might be lucky enough a tree could maybe stumble. I mean, you're gonna like hurt yourself a lot. The tree could maybe soften the branches, could soften your fall a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure
Yeah,
that and that might be pretty made up,
I'll
but
definitely have to try and play the game and then kind of bring it up maybe on a later stream and talk about what happens maybe. But I mean, yeah,
so
no, it was a very sad section of the game a little bit.
all right. What's your let's just say what's your if you have any what's your positive and negatives before you conclude?
I think my positives would be the storytelling. Yeah, I mean, just the depth that they go into is phenomenal. I mean, I can't really blame them for making a movie about the game, but I mean, I guess a little bit I am kind of disappointed because I feel like the game alone had just it had more value within the story that they did with the game.
I have
I mean,
like
I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't really
I
say
know
anything bad about it, but
I know for sure the movie. I don't, it didn't really include. I mean, so
yeah,
slowly
I heard a lot of people were very iffy
they were
about
kind of.
it.
I think they were kind of doing like not a Ouija board, but it's more like kind of like, oh, I should say trials of survival, but it's like multiple survivors, and then they throw them out the window go, or someone turning into one, I guess.
Hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, my positive. Any negatives? Like any like what I mean by negatives, it could be about the game. But do you wish if there's something that you wish they maybe added, you would have liked?
Well, I would say maybe not at least not right now. I definitely want to put this out here. I definitely do. Well, I will say that as much as I love the kind of like reference to other movies, the Saw like decision making thing
Yeah.
with like Josh, I think, and the other person, that was I was just like, you guys really like watched like Scream, Saw. I mean, you really watch like the classic horror films when you guys were making this game. I mean, again, as much as I love the kind of referencing bit of just like I guess inspiration that they took for the game, I just thought it was kind of funny. I mean, it was just like okay. I mean, I kind of get where you're going with this a little bit, sure, but it's just like I think that kind of for me, I don't want to say took some of the value away, but it definitely was just like, well, okay, now you guys are just kind of like switching up like movies. Like you go from Scream to Saw to basically some supernatural film. It's just like, okay, pick one, pick something. But I think let's see if regarding your question about like adding anything to the game, I don't know. I
Right.
mean, I think at best maybe I'd enjoy it if like you also got to play a little bit of the that stranger with the gas mask and the flamethrower. Because I mean, I feel like he had a bit more like story to tell with like just his character in general, you know? Because I mean, he was out there in the woods trying to like protect all these people the first time, and then even while you were playing the game, you had like these two characters in the mines, and he was also trying to protect you then, I think, at some point. But at the time, you guys were trying to like, well, you as the player, and then the like NPC that was with you was like thought that, oh, this guy is trying to kill us or like something like that. But I mean, if you like really pay attention to that character, like he knew way too much of what was happening. I mean, I feel like they could have definitely kind of, if they were to add something, I feel like they could have added just like a flashback section maybe of him.
Yeah, I was thinking that because my like little like I wish thing, they should maybe we switch to the older sister
Yeah.
where she woke up.
Yeah, I would have loved to also see her as like just before like or during the whole like process of her
It's like
becoming a Wendigo.
because in the journal, it's like a year, maybe a little two,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Yeah.
writing. She's writing until she's literally lost her mind.
Yeah, like she literally, like you even see it, like when you're reading the journal, you see with each page, she starts like her mind starts like like deteriorating as she writes, and like as like her consciousness, like her humanity starts like just slowly deteriorating over time. And you really see that through like the writing, and that would be something so cool to see, like just to see like how she was kind of like living through this like time gap, because I mean everybody thought she was dead at the time, right? So I mean just to kind of like get a little like flashback even with her would have been cool too.
But yeah, and of course the positive, like the story was good. You know, it's like I like how they did the whole character rent. You know, it gives you a chance in the game. All right, you could like in the game you can approach it based on their traits. If one's being so
Yeah.
like sassy, just pick every sassy approach. If someone's trying to be protective, do every protected approach. Someone's trying to like talk a little sexy, do with that. You know, just like
Hmm.
just mix it as with their traits go.
Yeah, you
And
could also always change their traits too, like I mentioned before, is that like certain choices as you play the game, it'll like change the trait of the character.
so yeah, that will include tonight's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. Sure, next week, let you know the time.